Ladies and gentlemen, we have the love letter that Donald Trump said didn't exist from him to Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump told us he doesn't do drawings. He never did a picture. And he even said he was going to sue Rupert Murdoch over the Wall Street Journal's claim that he wrote this letter to Jeffrey Epstein that included the drawing of a sort of stylized woman's body. But now we've got it. Here is the image handed over by lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's estate. This is from a professionally bound birthday book from Jeffrey Epstein's birthday in 2003. And right there inside of it is a letter with Donald Trump's signature, the same letter that he said is fake, the same letter he claims to be suing the Wall Street Journal over. Trump looked you in the eye and he lied to you. Remember when he said the following?
For the election, yeah.
Do you think that drawing, I think I heard you say something the other day, that the drawing that was the subject of the Wall Street Journal report.
I don't do drawings. I'm not a drawing person.
You think it was fraudulent?
I don't do drawings. Sometimes people say, would you draw a building? And I'll draw four
I drew a building.
lines and a little roof, for a charity stuff. But I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women.
And indeed, there was a drawing of a woman. Dramatic voiceover comes in. Now we are going to see, remember when COVID started and all of a sudden everybody on Twitter was an epidemiology expert. And then when Trump was indicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records, all of a sudden the amateur epidemiologists became amateur legal experts on the falsification of business records and prosecutorial guidelines. I think all of those people are now going to become amateur handwriting experts, and they already are trying it. It was an auto pen. It's not really Trump's signature. It's blah, 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 insert blank, right? Fill in the blank. But it's abundantly clear that this is real. And we have to analyze this. We have to think about this in the context of the growing opposition from Donald Trump to the full release of the Epstein files. He hasn't released them. He said that it's a hoax. He said my name isn't in there. And also my name is in there, but only because James Comey put my name in there or something like that. We now have been told by the Justice Department of Trump, no new files will be released. We released 33,000 files. That's a red herring. Those files had already been released. What's at issue is the remaining files. We just heard from Epstein's victims last week. Finally, by the way, it's all been about Epstein and Trump, which is legitimate because we're trying to figure out how implicated is Trump. But there are real victims here, people who suffered. And we finally heard from the victims, and they said, Jeffrey Epstein talked about Trump all the time. And by the way, we can make a list. We know who a lot of the perpetrators are. So this is, if as big as this story got, it is only getting bigger now that we have seen the hand-drawn image from Donald Trump. And the question in this secondary kind of stage is who, if anybody, from the Republican Party is going to abandon Trump and demand the release of the files. Because as you have recently, if you've been paying attention the last 24 hours, we've seen Eric Trump go, it's all fake. We've seen Charlie Kirk say that's not his handwriting. We've seen Caroline Leavitt come out in what might be her final and peak humiliation and say it's fabricated and it's fake and it's not real. But we already saw at least Republican Congressman Thomas Massie was willing to say, we've got to release these files. And he did a press conference with some of the victims, and now MAGA's targeting him. So you are going to see over the next 24 to 48 hours, you may see over the next 24 to 48 hours, Republicans are going to have a decision to make. Are they going to go the direction of Thomas Massie and say, we just need the files? There might be Democrats implicated. There might be Republicans implicated, but we need the files. It's what Trump promised initially until he thought to himself, wait a second, that's not a good idea. Or are they going to go the direction of silence, complicity, or even defending Donald Trump? The train is starting to leave. You've either got to hop on or you're going to miss it. And this is going to be a calculation for many of these Republicans as to what is best for their political future, what is best for their access to power and remaining in the good graces of whoever is in charge. So the letter is here. It's abundantly obvious now why Donald Trump is so terrified about the full release of the files. But what are some of his allies saying? Let's get to that next. Do you ever feel like you're being watched online? It's because you are. Even in incognito mode, your internet activity can still be tracked by your internet service provider, by big tech, by data brokers, and even by the government. The solution is our sponsor, Private Internet Access, a VPN that hides your IP address so you can't be tracked online, and so you can access websites and content normally not available in your region. Private Internet Access is the only VPN that can prove in multiple ways they do not log your internet activity. Their software is open source. Anyone can see that the VPN is not logging your traffic. Multiple court cases have happened where law enforcement tried to get user activity logs from the company. The company didn't have them. You can choose from lightning fast IP addresses in all 50 US states and 91 countries. You can use private internet access on unlimited devices with just a single account. And my audience gets 83% off, which comes out to just $203 a month, plus get 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pakman. The link is in the description.